Today's webinar is entitled, How Branding Fits into the Mix, Corporate, Small Business, Personal. Our presenter is alumna Kimberlee Bush, Creative Director and owner of Evergreene Graphics. Kimberlee, one of the few and fortunate who recognized her passion in high school and made a lifetime career of it, has been providing professional graphic design and print media management services since 1990. As an experienced graphic designer, Kimberlee specializes in logo design, visual branding, and getting projects professionally printed. From creating special, personal, custom logos to design of business cards, brochures, and marketing materials, she makes certain the visual branding is strong, consistent, and memorable. To help even further, Kimberlee manages and sources all kinds of printing from stationery and marketing materials to trade show giveaways. She's a professional print media specialist, and she designs projects, getting printing quotes, manages vendor relations, and delivers finished materials, freeing up valuable time for her customers to work on things they are the best at. Clearly, Kimberlee's expertise is wide-ranging. Today, Kim is going to focus on branding, helping you to answer 3 key questions. What area, type of branding should I focus on right now? How will branding help my company or me personally? And where or how can I learn more about branding? And now, we'll turn it over to Kim. Kim, we can't hear you. Please bear with us as we're having technical difficulties. Oh, Kim?
Yes.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we starting?
Yeah, we're all set. Go ahead.
Okay, I apologize. I must have muted the wrong button. Okay, well, welcome to the webinar, How Branding Fits in the Mix. And I'll talk today about branding on corporate level, small business level, and personal, because they're all very different. So to begin with, what is branding and why is it necessary? You can consider branding on all levels to be a silent salesman or saleswoman. It tells the story of a business, product, or person with the brand using both visual and emotional cues to evoke a response and build recognition. Brands take on a personality of their own and speak on behalf of the owner in their absence. For this presentation, I'll review, as I said, the 3 areas of branding, business, both corporate and small business, and personal. The main area of the focus will be on personal branding And because I know it so well, I will be using my own personal branding choices as examples to explain how you can apply branding for your own personal use. So for business branding, there's some questions to go over to consider when you're talking about business branding or corporate branding. Who is the brand's audience? It's customers, it's employees, it's suppliers, investors, and even competitors. What does the business brand communicate? High value, customer service, best products, low prices, satisfaction, results, etc. There's many different things that a business brand can communicate. What are the company values? What does it stand for? What does it support? Who does it speak to? Can you tell from its advertising, products, and services? And what do people say about the business? How do customers, employees, suppliers, investors, and competitors see and speak about your business to others? And why does it matter? A business brand involves far more than the owner or the board of directors or the investors. It takes on a life of its own, and the brand is spoken of as if it's a living, thinking thing with its own personality. It's critical to manage a corporate brand in order for the business's messages to be appropriate, honest, and accurate. Here's some examples. Do you recognize some of them or all of them? And do you know what each company is or does? If not, does the logo give you any ideas about the brand? It's interesting how some images might not even need a name, yet they're instantly recognized. This is the result of advertising and brand management. Do any of them give you gut reactions? Positive, negative? Media coverage can have a huge effect on the audience perception and acceptance or rejection of a brand. And I hope you can begin to see why branding matters in the way that you react to these logos and what they represent to you. Next, there's also to be considered product branding, which is different than business branding. Who does the brand communicate to? Consumers, potential consumers, suppliers, competitors. How does it communicate? Product brands initially interact with a consumer audience through package design, logo design, and ad messaging. The interaction continues through consumption or use of the product. Is the advertising accurate? Does it work, act, taste, feel, deliver on promises? What kind of reactions does a brand get? Brands trigger emotional connections in consumers, sometimes very strong ones. And why does this matter? Product branding allows for a unique product image and identity separate from a parent company to build recognition, reputation, and recommendations. So here's some examples of product brands. And again, do you recognize them? Do you know what each product is? It's interesting how a product brand can turn into a common household name. For example, Kleenex and Band-Aid. You talk about Kleenex and Band-Aid and you don't realize that's a brand and not just a product like a bandage or a tissue. Do you have emotional reactions to any of them? Do you like them? Do you dislike them? Can you relate to the way product branding influences your decisions, builds recognition, and is part of our everyday lives? And now on to personal branding. Personal branding is just that, it's personal. One person following their passion, being the best at the one thing you love to do or be. Who do you communicate to? Every single person that you come in contact with. Be ready to add your personal contributions and improve the larger network and the larger world that you're a part of. How do you communicate? How do you stand out? You have to narrow your focus. You have to be noticed for being different. being specialized, and having a focus. Where and when do you communicate? On interviews, talking with clients, giving presentations, through social media, when volunteering, networking, socializing, and just every day in general, all day long. Why does it matter? Personal branding is the process we use to market ourselves to others as freelancers, entrepreneurs, business owners, job seekers, socially, and in any other interaction that we have. All of our words, choices, and actions become part of our personal brand, whether intentional or not. So here's some examples of personal brands that have become, some have become much more than one person. They're bigger than the individual who started them. And as odd as it sounds, superheroes are the perfect examples of personal branding. The way they dress, their specialties, superpowers, their names, their symbols on their uniforms, their clothing itself. And we all identify with Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman. That's personal branding for each one of those. And Richard Branson, Oprah have all become much larger than just the one person themselves. They have an entire organization now. So here are some elements of personal branding. Altogether, these things create a unique impression, memorable and different from your competition. Your branding includes printed materials, web and online materials, social media, your vehicle, your equipment, your presence. It also includes advertising if you're in business, or your resume if you're an employee or a job seeker. A business coach once told me, project abundance even if you can't afford it right now. The way you are perceived by your audience is part of your branding, and if you project a high value image, you will attract high value clients. So I'm going to go over some of the steps in creating a personal brand. And as I mentioned, I will use myself and my company as an example. It makes sense to practice what you present. And because I help my clients with branding, it's important to be able to show clients different ways in which a brand can be applied by example. So to start with, as a business, craft a slogan. Introduce yourself, describe your business passion, include a professional photo. Sorry. My business is Evergreen Graphics. My slogan is designs that influence, solutions that work. This is my logo. And there's an outdated photo. I have much shorter hair now. Part of branding is explaining what you do. Also referred to as an elevator speech or an elevator pitch, a short, concise, memorable statement with impact, and most importantly, memorized by you and internalized so it's second nature and completely natural in the delivery. I help companies and organizations who don't have an in-house graphics department find the best printing and promotional solutions to fit their needs. I give this speech just about 3 times a month. I network so frequently. I provide services from design to delivery so you can spend your valuable time in more profitable ways. List your services and credentials. Stand out from the crowd. What makes you special? Who have you worked with that other people will recognize? All of these things become part of your brand and who you are. I am a professional graphic designer and print broker. I work with clients from design to printed delivery, considering myself a one-stop shop. I have clients that are entrepreneurs, small businesses, organizations across the U.S., even in Europe and Australia. Some of the companies that I've worked with: South Dakota Advertising Federation, 3 different chambers of commerce in the central New York area, multiple SCORE chapters across New York State, and a PBS TV producer in California. Many of these I obtained as new clients through social media marketing. So you also should share your work. It represents your brand. Do you do any pro bono or volunteer projects? Share your testimonials. Some samples of one of the chambers of commerce that I work with: SCORE, another chamber of commerce that I do advertising layout for. I do pro bono work for a therapeutic writing center. And these are copies of testimonials that I have on my website. People have shared very wonderful comments about the work that we've done together. And testimonials are something that clients and potential clients want to see. They want to know what other people think of working with you and what kind of interaction that they're going to get when they work with you themselves. Other parts of a personal brand are sharing other things that you do outside of your business: hobbies and interests, travel, family, friends. These are the things that make you human. You're not just your business. So if anyone knows me or follows me, I have a dog. Her name is Blue. She is almost like my second child. I share a lot of outdoor activities with my family. I volunteer for a BOCES advertising design committee. I spend a lot of time with my daughter and my significant other, traveling, doing fun things. But this allows people to see what kind of personality I have and what I do outside of my profession. Another very important thing when you're communicating with your audience, whether it's social media, email marketing, advertising, talking face-to-face, networking, you need to have a call to action. Do you have special offers? Do you have something that your audience would find valuable? Do you have something that you can give away to collect leads or collect email addresses so you can continue conversations? One thing that I do is I send out a newsletter every 2 weeks with a preview to my latest blog post. I write about graphic design, branding, and printing. I share tips and tricks for readers to help themselves get their graphic tasks done, resources, articles, personal stories. I also have a couple of ebooks that I wrote to share when people sign up for my email list. This is my newsletter logo. And as always, when you are communicating, whether in person, online, on print, make sure you include all of the ways that you can be contacted, because not every person is going to contact you in the same way. So give your audience a choice of methods to contact you: email, phone, Skype, web, and this will be included in the presentation later. If anyone would like to connect with me, I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn. And these are some of the resources that I go to when I'm helping my clients with their personal or business branding, and some of the resources that I used in building this presentation. One of the biggest and most valuable resources that I have found has been setting up a Google alert for personal branding or business branding, and then you can set up to get a list of daily or weekly links to articles all over the web that you can learn so much about branding just by doing a Google alert. So some of the things that are really key to remember: be authentic and real, be approachable and welcoming, be recognizable, memorable, create your visual voice intentionally through all of your graphics and your visual branding, build consistency, reliability, and recognition visually, as well as through all of your messaging and your personality. And remember always, your brand is your silent salesman. It's going to speak for you whether you're there or not. So make sure it's strong and consistent and memorable. I intended these to be links that we could open and take a look at, and we don't have that interactivity on this presentation, but if anyone is interested in getting these links to these free resources, please get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to send you a list of these links. There are free branding books out there readily available. You might need to sign up for someone else's mailing list, but they're great resources. And there's some wonderful articles about branding that are out on the internet, and as I said, I'm more than happy to share these links with you. Just get in touch. Okay, we've got time for questions if anyone has any.
Okay, so if anyone has questions, they can post them in the chat box, which is on the right-hand side. Well, it looks like we don't have any questions.
No, I have a question here. The first one I see is, how do you recommend advertising a personal brand? I am a self-employed and I do not have a business name or DBA, etc. Well, this is from Lauren. Lauren, I would recommend, in this case, your personal brand is going to be communicated through either your resume or your networking events that you go to, and you're going to want to, whether you have a business name or not, you want to have some sort of contact card in the form of a business card. Make yourself a name tag, maybe even design a logo that's just related to your personal name, even if it's not a business. Something that speaks to what you are like or what you like to do or the kind of career you're trying to get into. So your advertising tools are going to be your presence, your communication style, and your resume, and maybe your social media profiles, and have them all start becoming cohesive in the way that you're speaking about yourself and communicating your assets to others. I hope that helps.
Okay, looks like we've got another question coming in.
Okay, Lauren replied, great ideas. She has business cards but hasn't thought of the logo idea. How important is a LinkedIn account? LinkedIn is critically important if you are looking for a job or you are in a business-to-business capacity where you're one business trying to do business with others. And having a LinkedIn account and your profile filled out as completely as possible with a professional photo is going to go a long way in helping you advertise yourself and your personal brand.
There was a question, too, about whether we can email the participants copies of the slides and the branding links. The slides and actually the entire presentation will be up online. We'll see what we can do about potentially emailing copies of the branding links to everyone. Otherwise, you can contact Kim directly as well. through her information that was posted.
Most definitely. And, you know, take a look at my website, check out some of the more examples of the branding, because I wasn't able to show everything, and you'll begin to see how that starts to become cohesive through the website also. And I am more than happy to share that list of resources as links so that you can take a look at them.
Anyone else have any other questions? Feel free to post them in the chat box. Okay, well, if nobody else has any questions, we'll wrap it up. Additional questions can be emailed to ritalum@rit.edu, or you can tweet them to @RIT_alumni with the hashtag #MeRITWebinars, and we'll direct your questions directly to Kim.